Okay, Belgium against Italy at the Women's Euros has just finished. Italy have won 1-0 with a goal on 44 minutes by Caruso, which was the best bit of play, I think, in the first half for Italy. They had flashes again in the second half as well, and they finally took control of the game and dictated the pace and the tempo of the game. But Belgium, for the most part, were the better side for lengthy periods in this game. They were better in possession, they were more accurate in possession, they were winning the midfield battle, and I think tactically they set up better, partly for the conditions. Their press was quite good. Italy was sloppy in possession and will need to play a lot better uh, if they are to challenge Spain for the top spot in the group, I think. And some people think Italy could be a dark horse for the tournament if they go on a bit of a run. They've beaten Spain, they've beaten Germany in recent times, so they know what it takes to beat sides that are ranked above them, who are more successful when it comes to the international game in the women's game. And this is quite recently they've beaten Spain and Germany, which are a good litmus test for where Italy are as a team. But today, much like Norway in yesterday's game against Switzerland, they were second best in large portions of the game. The goal is actually when Belgium's press fails a little bit and the Italian attack is allowed to build and move the ball quickly and be accurate. Caruso's finish is brilliant, but the defence backs off, and when you've got a right-footed player on the left, we've seen this in other games, especially in the Finland-Iceland game, you want to put them on their weaker foot, and allowing Caruso to open up her body and have time to pick where she's going to shoot the ball, I think is a bit of naivety with the Belgian defence. It's a great finish. I think it's so far, I think for me, is potentially the best goal in the tournament so far. Kosela's goal for Finland, Caruso's goal for Italy, they're very similar. They're from similar areas. They're from distance as well, which is very interesting. Now, Belgium, I think what's let them down is their finishing. They were very wasteful. They created more opportunities, but they were very, very wasteful. Italy, ironically, did have actually more shots on target as well, but Belgium created a lot. It's that final third where I think they need to improve for their next game, which is against Spain, which is very, very difficult. They can't afford to be wasteful, I think, and that's come to haunt them in this game. Italy took their first proper opportunity in the first half. They would force some saves in the second half as well and be more accurate with their chances. But at the same time, Italy were a bit sloppy in possession. They didn't really build a good tempo and rhythm in the first half and for portions of the second half. Belgium were actually on top in the second half for periods as well. But as the game wore on, Italy, I wouldn't say calmed down, but I think the tactical changes made, the substitutions, I think helped Italy sort of build a rhythm and tempo, which they had been lacking. The Belgians do look good in wide areas and on the counter-attack. I think that's where Belgium were quite strong when the play breaks down, and Italy gave them a lot of opportunities with play breaking down. Overall, I wouldn't say it was the best game in women's football, international football I've seen. But I think, again, the weather's having an impact. It's still very, very hot in continental Europe. And even in Sion, which is surrounded by mountains, so it's higher up than Basel, they still had potential for water break should it reach that temperature threshold. It was still in the at the high 20s, low 30s at 6 p.m. at kickoff. So the heat and humidity is still proving troublesome so far, and I do think we're going to see this hot weather continue throughout the tournament, and I do think that is also having an impact on the players earlier. They seem to be fatiguing quicker, which I think is also contributing to some of the sloppy play. But in saying that, the Norway-Switzerland game, Switzerland were very, very good last night for lengthy spells, apart from that 4 minutes with the 2 goals go in. And again, you've got to pace yourself in these conditions, and I think Belgium may have run out of steam a little bit as the second half wore on. I think Italy might have played their way into the game, but they were still scrappy. There's still room for improvement, but their next game is an easier head-to-head against Portugal, whereas Belgium, need to try and get something against the fancied Spanish side, who are World Cup holders and one of the favourites for the tournament to make back-to-back international finals, much like what England have done. And so Belgium will have to, 2/3 of the field, they're brilliant. It's that final third where they were wasteful. Italy, room for improvement. I think there could be some first match nerves as well, but they were sloppy at times, and I think they need to adjust tactically in the midfield. They were getting overwhelmed in midfield with how they'd set up tactically to begin the game. I think that's an area where they may make some adjustments going into future games as well, but they've got that win. They didn't concede any goals, which is important, and we are still yet to see a goalless draw in this tournament, which is, I always say this, how long can we go through a tournament before we get a goalless draw? And so far, well, it's been low scoring. We haven't seen lots of goals flying, and it has been low scoring. We've seen two out of the two games have clean sheets, and the winning margin's only been a goal in all three games. So it's low scoring at the moment. I do expect more goals to go in. Potentially with Spain tonight against Portugal. Spain are heavily fancied in that game, and the Portuguese aren't quite at the same level as some of the other nations in this tournament, although they have developed, and come a long way in recent years. Spain's going to be a bit of a tough test for them, and with the conditions as they are, pacing yourself and staying within structures as well. With the way the Spanish play, the Portuguese have to stay in a very good defensive structure. If they start leaving that structure, that could be a very long night for them. But there we go, that's the first game of the day. Spain play Portugal in just under an hour as I'm recording this video, this match review. But thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the game in the comments section below, and we'll have some more content for you all very, very soon.